Hey, what's up everybody? LandonWithLMR.com. Got a simple one for you today. We're taking a look at 5.0 Resto's reproduction fuel pump relay bracket designed for the 1986 to 1991 Fox Body Mustangs. So when I say reproduction, that means we incorporated all the OEM dimensions and tolerances into this bracket itself. It's stamped steel construction, has all the mounting locations, and then it's also zinc coated to provide some protection from corrosion. As far as fitment is concerned, this will work for 1986 to 1991 Fox Body Mustangs. Of course, some information kind of floating out there on the internet. I've never personally validated this. Early 1992 cars also had the fuel pump relay underneath the driver's seat. The easiest way to check if you have a 1992 car, glance inside your door, look at the door tag if it's still there, see what the production date was. And then if you wanted to check, you could look under the mass air meter in the engine bay in front of the passenger side strut tower, and you'll either see one relay, which is the wide open throttle cutoff relay, or you'll see two relays. One is the wide open throttle cutoff relay, the other is the fuel pump relay. Speaking in terms of all of that, if you want to know more about the fuel pump relays and their locations, I'll link our detailed article and the video down in the description. As far as what's in the box, you're going to get one fuel pump relay bracket and then one retaining bolt. The car we're working on today, this is a 1988 GT with an LX front bumper on it. But this car here, we just recently did some work to it and then noticed that the fuel pump relay bracket was kind of cruddy and corroded. So to us, we're just gonna put a new one in it. Yes, you could technically refurbish the one that's in your car if it's still there, if it can be refurbished. But some of us out there kind of had the mindset of time is money, and if we can just purchase the replacement part and just easily install it, that's the route we want to take. So first thing you'll have to do when you come over here to the car, you'll have to remove the front seat. That's another video we have on the channel. I'll link it below, but it's pretty simple to do. The front retaining hardware is two 15mm nuts. The rear retaining hardware is two 15mm bolts. And then if applicable, disconnect the electrical connection and remove it from the car. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. Okay, so typically what can happen when you're removing the front nuts is the entire stud comes out. If you wanted to fix this, you kind of would need to jig this up, hold this with like a jam nut setup, and then break your nut free. Typically, why this happens is these nuts get way over tightened. The next time you go to remove it, it pulls the entire stud out. And then typically what I find the easiest tool to use is just a 15mm ratcheting combination wrench. One more thing I forgot about, I'd also like to point out, depending on the car, if they are there, this seat hardware has little plastic covers over them, front and back. And in the way you remove those, you just use a little push pin removal tool because they're secured with little small push pins for the rear and the front. So looks like the electrical connection on this seat was already disconnected. So I'm just gonna pull it out. Get it out of our way. Like I said, for the one that's in this car, you know, it's just got some surface rust, stuff like that. But we've been doing some work to the car, carpets, center console, we painted the dash. So we're definitely going to continue on the theme of, replacing the parts that need to be replaced. So this car here, everything's still intact. This fuel pump relay, I've seen this installed in this hole. And then as you can see here on this car, it's installed into this hole. Pick which route you want to go. I don't think you're going to be wrong or you're going to be right. This is a Fox Body Mustang. It seems like when these cars were put together at the factory, the assembly line workers just said, oh, there's a location, let's put that there. Okay, so with the bracket loose, we'll just take us a little push pin removal tool and we'll gently remove the relay from the bracket. Okay, so a few talking points. You can purchase a new fuel pump relay. The fuel pump relay does come with your little harness clip. Also note the pigtail. If you see some wires that may be damaged, some of the insulation is starting to deteriorate, it may be in your best interest to replace the pigtail as well. Common electrical knowledge would be needed. You would just basically match your colors up with that pigtail and then use some butt connectors or solder to install the new pigtail. So I'm gonna grab our new bracket and we'll get this installed. Okay, so the bracket itself's got a little locating tab. You'll see that in the seat bracket. So just put the locating tab in its spot and then we can tighten this screw down. As far as a torque spec, I know some of you are torque spec gurus and you gotta have everything torqued to, correctly. I mean, we're talking about a fuel pump relay bracket here. Just snug it down. Okay, so with the fuel pump relay bracket installed, what you may need to do, you may just need to slightly pull up on it just a little bit. That way you can get your relay reclipped here in its proper location. All right, simple as that. As far as wrenching sizes are concerned for the hardware, the factory screw is typically 11 millimeters, and then the screw that we provide with the fuel pump relay bracket has a 10 millimeter wrenching size. And then one last thing before we sign off, now would be a great time to vacuum the carpet with the seat out. That's often an area that's very difficult to vacuum. The trick of the trade I always do if the seat's in the car, take you some air compressor and flush it all either towards the front or the back. But with the seat out, use this opportunity to vacuum up the area. So with us being done, that's it. We can reinstall the seat, retighten those bolts, and then we're good to go. And as always, if you find value in what we do, like the video, subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, and then till we catch you in the next one, y'all know what to do for all things Fox Body Mustang. Keep it right here with the real enthusiasts, LMR.com.